Hi, everybody. I'm Sam.
And I'm Tay.
Welcome to the Sam and Tay's Fantasy Football Podcast. This is for Week 5 wrap-up, and I am a happy man, Tay.
Oh, man, tell me why you're so happy, man.
Man, my first win, and it's against my old nemesis, Scott, my old coworker, my old nemesis. So that's a bonus, yeah. He was texting me on how bitter he was about Calvin Johnson, but I don't blame him. But before we go to the matchup, let's take a look at the standings here. Ving is in first place. Got to give it to the guy, dude. Auto draft and everything, and he's in first place. His points are pretty high up there. I mean, he doesn't have the highest total points. Wow.
He's pretty high. He's what? He's fourth, top 5 at least, top 5 in the high scores. So. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jinx still has time. I think he still has time to come around because
our Jinx.
He's playing. He kind of had a bye this week playing on who he played on. So, to me, he had a bye. So I think he had an easy win this week. So
against him.
Really,
yeah. We'll discuss that too in the matchup. But no, congrats, Ving. You're in first place, and again, he took second last year. So he's in first place this year. His team looks good, and Office Linebackers moved down to second. He was in first place.
Yeah. It was a weekend of first, I guess. You had the first win, and Terry had the first loss.
Yep. And so Terry moved down from first to second. Even though I had my first win, I'm still in dead last. with my total points.
With your total points.
But no, hopefully it starts to spark in my team, and playoffs are still alive, right, Tay? I think playoffs are still alive.
You only a game back, all right? You only game back at 8th spot. That's pretty much that's all you kind of have to wait for at that point.
If I can get some more the 2 and 3 teams, if they can start losing. And
you're right back in it.
I think I'll be right in the mix. But again, I am still playoff capable, I guess. That's why I want to remind everybody: hit those waiver wires. Don't be inactive. Just keep playing and just keep playing. That's all I can say. Keep trying.
Yeah, because otherwise it gives you an easier path at trying to make the playoffs, right? If nobody else is active, I think you have a chance to turn your team around and miss.
Yeah, but in the spirit of things, I do want teams to be active. You know what I mean? Just to play. But let's go over to the first matchup, me and Scott, and you can see that, man, I blew him out almost by 20 points.
I think it's probably the whole Calvin Johnson thing, and it looks like they finally might sit him. I think they need to sit him because he's playing hurt and he's just playing decoy. So there's no point in having him just being out there anyway.
No, sit him. And the other thing that hurt Scott was the no start with Golden Tate.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I think he had Calvin out there, and I think. It did hurt him. I think next time he'll know, if anything else, he might just end up having to play both, right? That's probably his best bet. I think he's still high on Keenan Allen. I don't know why. Like I said, I would have sold my boat on that one a long time ago. So, if I was him, I probably would have just started Calvin Johnson and Golden Tate. Especially since Golden Tate did well last week too, right? Calvin Johnson was just decoy, and Tate did well, so I'm surprised he didn't just play him again.
Well, what do you think is going to happen if Calvin Johnson isn't there to play decoy, and then Golden Tate is just there? You know what I mean? I don't.
Yeah.
They'll focus on Golden Tate. I don't know who else they got over there.
Yeah, that's true. At that point, and Golden Tate's not really that big, so it's not like you can really. Throw it up to the guy. You can just kind of, I think, but he got a lot of reception in that game because they did a lot of slants and short routes. So
yeah.
That's honestly and that's the only option. I think Reggie Bush went out in that game too. So
yeah,
he was pretty much the only option they had at that point.
Yep, and my team didn't do spectacular. Look at my running backs and receivers, like single digits.
Mediocre.
I'm telling you, Peyton Manning finally blew up for me, and that's the game I've been waiting for. Yep. Greg Olsen blew up for me. T.Y. Hilton did okay, but besides those three, I have nothing. I have nothing. So I am hoping that my team gets it together, for my future matchup. Scott was just an easy win. What I mean. So but oh yeah, Randall from New York Giants. I picked him up because the expert advice from this podcast suggested that I go and pick him up, and sure enough, but I left him
your co-host.
But I left him on the bench because I wasn't high on him just quite yet, but I should have started him.
Yeah.
But I'm happy. This is my first win, and it's against my nemesis. So hopefully it's a sign of things to come. You know what I mean?
So why did you not play Pittsburgh defense this time around? I mean, they were playing Jacksonville. I thought maybe. I mean, Jacksonville is like the team to play any defense against at this point this year.
Yeah. I'm high on Denver. At home. Defense. Yeah. Monday morning quarterback. What could have been.
It's not even Monday morning. It's not even Monday morning quarterback. I would have done that Saturday. I would just look at the matchup, but like, okay, this is kind of easy on this one.
Yeah. No, I was just.
It must have been the projected points. Is that why you were scared? Denver was projected higher.
Yeah, I was just thinking, Denver. I'm still high on their defense. With the players that they received during the off season. Yeah.
Well, good luck for you, because I don't know if you heard about Gerhardt, but I'm wondering if he's going to lose his starting job now.
I can care.
You're going to have to keep an eye on that thing for yourself.
Yeah, that Gerhardt guy, man. Why can't he be to his Why can't he go to his Stanford days?
Because he was younger.
Maybe a better line too.
Probably that's probably what it was. It's Jacksonville. We forget it's Jacksonville.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next matchup. Kevin versus Chris. Now, Kevin, you can breathe easy and relax because I'm certain the Yahoo corrections will not make you lose on Thursday. Right.
You just never know, man. That's 2 times this year already, so you just never know.
Yeah, but Chris put up some good numbers. It was just Kevin just put up some more. But wow, Breeze did well for Chris. Deshaun Jackson, wow.
Yeah, I mean, he almost had a comeback, I guess, that Monday night, because that's when Deshaun played, right? And then it looked like he was almost going to come back, but then he fell short. Deshaun didn't put in enough points, but he put up 30 points on Monday, so that was pretty good.
Yep. Let's play Monday morning quarterback. Steven Jackson plugs in for the Steelers guy. Oh man, then Chris would have won, right?
Yeah, that's right. I mean,
Chris would have won, but.
Yeah, who would have known, I guess, at that point.
I don't even know who this Steelers guy is. I never even heard of him. What's the K stand for? I don't even know.
I don't even know why did he even play him? Because I don't even.
Yeah. But of course, I don't blame Chris for not starting old man Steven Jackson. You know what I mean? I don't blame him for not starting him.
That's true. But I mean, but you have to blame him for starting Steelers over Steven Jackson.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to blame him for that part. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, that's something I'd blame him for. Starting Steelers for Steven Jackson. Wasn't there like 5 better waiver wire guys than this guy? To me, I mean, I'm just saying. Like,
yeah, I don't know, Chris. I don't know what you were doing, Chris. I never heard of this Steelers guy. I don't know what the K stands for. I'm not going to look him up. Maybe you thought something that I wasn't thinking. But on the flip side, look at Kevin's bench. His bench blew up too. You know what I mean? Kevin could have plugged in anybody anywhere.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, his bench did blow up, and now he's got Andre Williams on his bench too, and that guy's gonna be a starter in New York for now. So
for the next, they were thinking 2 weeks. Yeah, through the bye.
2 weeks at least until the bye. I mean, I think Kevin's got a pretty good team building there actually for the next couple of weeks at least, so maybe he can get a couple wins in and kind of chase his spot at first place here in a little bit. Yeah.
He just has to make sure to win by more than a point, or else.
Oh yeah, and I'm amazed he still has Gordon. He's holding on to his bench.
Hey, if Kevin makes the playoffs, he can use.
If he makes the playoffs,
he can use Josh Gordon. If he makes the playoffs.
That's true. I mean, I guess he could. I mean, the secret weapon. He might unload the secret weapon there.
Yeah. Sorry, Chris. 108 would have beat several people this week. You know what I mean? So you just had a tough matchup. You know.
Yeah, we had a lot of high scores this week. A lot of high scores. Tough matchups and all around. So.
Yeah. All right, let's go to your matchup with Jeff. Jeff, the defending champion, who is, I think, on a 2-game losing streak now.
He is. Yeah, I pretty much smashed him to the ground, I think, on this one.
Yeah, even with the trade that Jeff and Scott did last week, which was pretty even. I mean, it was nobody, but Eddie Lacy blew up for you finally.
Oh, and it's my running backs. I mean, that one, Lacy and Foster. Morris, I had a feeling he was going to get shut down, but, who else am I going to really... At that point, I didn't really have anybody else that I wanted to flex, just in case he gets, like, a cheap touchdown. So, didn't matter. I mean, Lacy and Foster was pretty much it. And even Cam Newton playing better than my Nick Foles, but I kind of held up and beat him. I mean, that was a nice pickup. He actually had Philadelphia defense, too. So, I mean, that was a nice pickup.
Yep,
for
23
him.
Points.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess it wasn't that close. Like I said, the running backs kind of ended it pretty much. He didn't have, I mean, especially when your kicker and your defense outscores, the rest of your team almost.
Yep. Steve Smith, I think, is right about where his points should be. I think it's easily coming down now. Hopefully. Hopefully
I think that will.
For the Torrey Smith owners like myself, hopefully we can start going to Torrey Smith now.
Yeah.
But Tay, looks like you won this one.
And my tight end didn't even score.
Yeah.
My sleeper tight end didn't even score for
blew
me.
Blew up the previous week, right?
Yeah, because that's probably going to be his output for the next 4 weeks. And then it'll look like a decent pickup.
Tight ends are tough for fantasy. I mean, there might be 3 that really does scoring. 3 tight ends, 3 or 4 tight ends. After that, it's nobody really scores.
Yeah.
I mean, top 3, top 4 tight ends that score on a weekly basis or consistently. You know what I mean? So.
And normally if you don't have those tight ends, you basically just have to look for a defense that can't cover tight ends, and you just pick up that one each week, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just kind of how you do it.
If available, but.
Yeah.
No, 117 is a good number there. And Jeff needs to do some rebuilding, some trades, waiver wires, whatever, man. If he wants to defend that title,
Oh, he's gonna have to do something to repeat. I mean, he looked like he was in driver's seat for a while, and then
Peterson,
lost his last 2.
And then Peterson and Ryan Matthews.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. Speaking of Peterson, the new news is he paid for an orgy for his son, his underage son. I think had a so man, Peterson is falling fast.
It's all right. It's just off the field stuff, because people can always come back from that, right?
Sure. I mean, like I tell everybody, if Vic can come back from that, anybody can come back from basically anything.
Definitely.
Short of killing somebody flat out. I mean, but anybody can come back from from this. He just apologized and.
Oh yeah.
And plus, he's a performer. I mean, he's one of the studs. So fans are fickle like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they'll forgive him.
Oh yeah, I'd pay to still watch him. I mean.
Yeah. All right. So congrats, Teo, on winning. Let's go on to the next matchup. Jim versus Danny. Mad 'cause bad, the sad. And Jim laid a goose egg on this one.
Yeah. He was another bye week, just like sitting there. So he did like goose egg, one of the low scores of the week.
Yep. He benched Cousins. I mean, it didn't give him that much more points than Roethlisberger. Man, DeMarco Murray is probably the only bright spot for Jim there.
Yeah, and he lost Monty Ball. I mean, that kind of hurt. I mean, his team kind of really didn't do so well this week. But losing Monty Ball, I don't even know who else. He didn't have much of a team left. I don't even know. His team's kind of falling apart right now. So I don't know.
Monty Ball is out for 2 weeks. Jim, if you want to trade Monty Ball for Toby Gerhart, send me a. Send me a trade offer.
Yeah, Gerhardt's out for 2 weeks too, but just only because he's going to ride the bench for 2 weeks. He's not even hurt. He's not even hurt.
No, Danny looks like that's a solid. 107 is not too shabby. It beat several other people. Nothing from Pierre Garçon because Richard Sherman got him in check.
Yeah, he made some comments too. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, Garçon's pulling his hair. I watched the video. Garçon pulled his hair several times, several plays.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, seriously? That's how you're gonna fight to get open? Well, whatever.
He's probably just telling me he needs to cut his hair a little bit though.
It's
there to grab, isn't it? Like when you have hair sticking out of your helmet.
If you're a running back receiver who has the ball, they can pull your hair to tackle you. But I think as a wide receiver, I think it's pass interference almost if you pull his hair just to get open. It's almost pass interference.
Yeah, but it wasn't called, right?
It was never called. It was never called. It could have been holding. The right call would have been holding, but the ref never threw a flag at all. Each time of this. So no, kudos for Garçon for getting away with that because technically that's illegal. You can't do that. That's holding.
Well, I mean, but on the hair, isn't it like dreadlocks? Because have you tried to run your fingers through dreadlocks? I mean, I would get caught there too. So you got caught. On it.
Is it dreadlocks or is it braids? I can't.
Whatever it is, I don't know what it is.
I can't tell what it is, but
braids, dreadlocks, yeah. Whatever they're called.
Yeah. But no. I mean, if Sherman,
it's not flowing hair. That's all I know.
If Sherman got an interception and been running in with it, sure, pull his hair to tackle him. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. But when you're trying to get open and you're just pulling his hair, that's holding. To me, that's holding. And yes, the ref should have called it. But so Sherman's over there jawing off, and Pierre Garçon is tweeting silence is the best whatever. But. I mean, if I was Garçon, what can I say in a rebuttal to that? Because he can't. He really can't. He has nothing to say anything about that. So, but yeah, no. Danny got a good win this week. Not terribly high score, but enough to win.
He played the right opponent.
Yeah. So Jim, get back from Vegas, do the moves, and hopefully you can pick up some win, because I'm coming for you. You know what I mean? My record's coming up to him. I know. I'm right behind him. You know what I mean?
All these 2 and 3 teams should be scared of you right now.
Now let's go to the first place guy, Ving, versus Sin. Oh my God! I mean. Sin, man, you had an amazing start. Sin won 3 in a row to start off the season, right?
Did, yeah. But like we said, that jinx is working, man. I mean, can't really say anything else, about it. But it's just that whole jinx and. Yep.
And if you remember, Tay, after the first week putting up all that high number, then the second week, even though he won, he put up lower number, and then the third week he even put up lower number, even though with the win. So you can tell he was slowly declining, and then we get this here, So Sin, man, you gotta pick it up, Sin. Ving's team's tough. I mean, 115 points for Ving. I mean, he would have beat several other guys too in our league too. So I'm not saying that's a crappy number, because it isn't. But no, Ving did great this week. Des Bryant stud for him like always. Vincent Jackson, right? Tay, you mentioned the quarterback for New Orleans like Vincent Jackson more now.
Oh yeah. I mean, the quarterback for Tampa Bay. Yeah, Glennon. All I was going to do is just keep throwing to him now, because that's all he did when he last year when he came in. He was like the most targeted wide receiver almost last year once Glennon came in. So they have a good rapport. So I think they'll just keep throwing it up. Jackson's old, but the guy's still like 6'5", 6'6", so he's a big guy. So
and he still catches. And he still questions. I mean, it's just like Anquan Boldin for San Francisco, which Sin does have on his bench. But Anquan Boldin, even though he's up there in age, he still catches everything,
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Good hands.
Yeah, and Bing doesn't have much of a bench either, so it was just relying. So he started the correct people. Um, but yeah, no, Bing looks like a force to be reckoned with here in this league. He's a hot 4-1 right now. Sin is a cold and 3-2. Losing two straight now.
Yeah, I don't even know what advice you give to Sin. He's got two good running backs, but I mean, I don't even know what to tell him. I mean, at this point, I mean, hope next week's better for him. I don't know.
Yeah, quarterback. Maybe pick up another quarterback. Keep Stafford on the bench, but maybe pick up a possible quarterback.
He might have to now, right? Yeah, he might have to because I mean he doesn't have Calvin now, so it's gonna be you would think it's gonna be kind of tough for Stafford to do much without Calvin to throw it up to.
Yeah.
And they might have to. See if he can turn something around. Just mix it up. He's got to mix it up, Whatever he can do, just mix it up.
Yeah, hit that waiver wire, Sid.
Yeah. Use all 4 moves right now. He's got to do something.
Yep. Hey, waiver wire opens in about, 2 hours, so, get that going. Let's go to the game of the week, which I consider the game of the week. It was previously undefeated offense linebackers versus Dawn. And, I don't know about you, Tay, but I think this was an upset. We were, you and I were making fun of Dawn's team last week, Geno Smith and all that,
Yeah.
And Dawn, believe it or not, listened to us, dropped Geno Smith, maybe it was our advice for him to start Russell Wilson. I'm not sure if he would have kept Geno Smith and then started Geno Smith over Russell Wilson.
He might have, without the podcast, he might have just done that. I mean, I could see Don doing stuff like that if he didn't listen to our podcast.
Yeah, you're welcome, Don. Okay.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Obviously. Yeah.
You're welcome. But
totally.
This was great. Terry lost his first match, this season. So Terry, that took him down to 4-1, and Don stepped it up. You and I both, I am sure you and I did not see this coming from Don, and I was thinking, personally myself, I was thinking Terry was going to win this week, but, wow, look at Russell Wilson, man, 100 yards rushing, with a touchdown, I believe, a rushing touchdown.
Yeah.
2 passing touchdown. Oh, man, if your quarterback is going up against Washington, start that quarterback. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, you gotta have to. I mean, Russell Wilson. I mean, he demolished Washington that night. And Washington's defense actually isn't that bad. It's just their pass defense is horrible. So, Wilson kind of left it up. And I think their rush defense wasn't bad because they actually held Lynch in check. But the thing is, they wasn't expecting Wilson to run as much as they did.
Yeah.
So I think that's why he ran so well, because I think they were just focused on shutting Lynch down, and they did that pretty much. It's just Wilson went crazy because they would do that read option and then fake it to Lynch, and he would take it himself.
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, Russell Wilson. I mean, wow. I mean, he, one of the Washington's players, I forget who it was, but he was quoted after the game saying that Russell Wilson could be the best player in the NFL. Now, I wouldn't go that far, but I mean, think about all the other quarterbacks that were expected to be really good this year, and they're not. I mean, Russell Wilson could be one of the best quarterbacks of this year so far. With Andrew Luck. Because Russell Wilson's been playing consistent this season through 5 games. You know what I mean?
That's true. And think about it. I mean, that class itself, wasn't Luck and Wilson came out at the same time?
Luck, Wilson, RG3.
Well, we won't mention RG3, but whatever. Luck, Wilson. No, I mean, that whole class with quarterbacks, I mean, those two are like the top guys, and they look good. I mean. Yep. That's amazing. And,
congrats, Don, for taking down the undefeated Terry. So again, that was a week of first. Terry's first loss, my first win. I'm hoping that's a pattern. Well, I mean, I'm not hoping Terry loses all his match, but I'm hoping hopefully I win all my matches. You know what I mean? But great, Don. And just to change the subject real quick, it was good to see everybody in Vegas again. I think, it was good to see everybody again in Vegas. I think half of our fantasy football league was in Vegas. So,
yeah, that's true. I think.
Yeah. So it was cool seeing everybody there and talking a little bit about fantasy while we were there. Also, so Don took our advice. And we were talking about it there. So yeah, it was definitely good seeing all you guys in Las Vegas, and look forward to seeing you guys again in April in Dallas. So all right, cool. Let's go on to the last match. Hong versus my brother Knoxville. Man, Hong led all scores this week.
Yeah, high score of the week. His team blew up. I mean, Damaris. How much can you say, really? 200 something. He was the high score of the week, right, in our league, I believe so.
Mm-hmm.
When put up numbers like that, I don't know. If he would have lost and he had Damaris and Ellington blow up, that would have been sad, right? He had two guys, score half his points, so it would have been sad if nobody else did nothing, because he would have lost, pretty much, to Sog. So he got enough from his other players, and pretty much it looked like he stomped Sog's ass, actually.
Yeah, and if you look at the bench, Hong has Phillip Rivers on the bench, and my brother has Tom Brady on the bench. Those are two pretty good quarterbacks they have on the bench there. But I'm sure you were expecting Cincinnati to do better than what they did at New England.
Yeah, true.
Who knows what the heck happened to Cincinnati then?
Yeah. So you think Soggy took our advice from last week and as well and said that Brady's old and so he benched Brady?
Could be.
Maybe.
or maybe.
Not saying it would have helped him. No, not saying it would have helped him. But
yeah, because I think he was having flashbacks of the Kansas City New England game, and he was worried about that, So Cincinnati was going into that game with a lot of hype, supposedly the number one defense versus New England,
Yeah.
So I think that might have scared him off, and then not start Brady and then start Andy Dalton. You know what I mean?
Plus the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, people, listen to us. If you see the intro, you see it says expert advice. You know what I mean? So you guys should listen to us. But let's take a look real quick at LeSean McCoy right there. Is he a bust, Tay? What do you think? Is he a bust this year?
It's early to tell. I think he didn't have a horrible game. He didn't have a stellar he should have blown him away game, but I don't know if they would. I don't know if they should have projected him high as 21, but I don't know. Maybe they're just not using him as much as they could because they're not really throwing to him as much because Sproles is there too. Because before he'd get receptions, they used them a lot in the past. Running the ball both as well too. But I wouldn't consider him a bust quite yet. Even though it came out at the top, it's kind of hard to say he hasn't had that big game yet. But,
He hasn't broke 20 points yet.
I know. Yeah, he has. I think he'll even out. He does have a lot of, not so good defenses coming up, in his division. So, I can see him turning around, playing Dallas defense, playing Washington defense. I think a lot of those teams that can hopefully put up some points against him. So, I wouldn't write him off yet. Like I said, he's still only he's the lead back. He's the only back there in Philly.
Yeah.
Because Sproles is still their change of pace guy. So.
Sure, but I think it's the, I don't want to say the pressure, but it's the status of being the number one pick overall in 90% of all fantasy leagues. You know what I mean? It's you would expect him to do better than that.
You would. Well, and it's funny because they actually he's come out too saying he's let down his fantasy owners and because he's well into the whole fantasy aspect.
Sure. Yeah. Not like.
And maybe it's the pressure of that too. Maybe it's the pressure of. He takes on all that pressure as well too, saying, "Don't worry about it. I'm gonna, right this ship, and I'm gonna fix this, for you fantasy owners, and still believe in me." So I don't know. Maybe he's just taking on so much because of that reason.
And it's cool that players like him do that because then on the flip side you have Roddy White who will say crappy stuff about fantasy, football and owners, and I hate Roddy White just as much as I hate Colin Kaepernick and Jay Cutler and Phillip Rivers. I hate Roddy White. Let's just say that I hate him. But yeah. hopefully McCoy can live up to his first overall pick. Le'Veon Bell did okay. Antonio Gates did very well again. I mean, old man Gates, he's off and on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he is. Rivers still likes him though. He likes to throw him. I think he's the only tight end that he really likes to throw to anyway there, because everybody kind of wrote so much about Ladarius Green, and then Gates ends up being the guy. And the same thing is weird. I mean, that's when Gonzalez too. Everybody kind of wrote him off when he was older, in his last season, and he put up decent numbers. I think he was like the fourth highest last year at the tight end position. You know what I mean? So Gates is kind of holding his own. He's kind of doing the same thing as what Gonzalez is doing, kind of in a way, that, being the old guy but still looking like he's still playing like he's pretty young, youthful. So
yeah. Well, okay, cool. Congrats, Wang. That's very impressive numbers there, 138. And again, it was good to see you in Vegas too. But okay, Tate, let's go over to pickups here. The waiver wire. What do you think? Do you have anybody in mind that you're looking at, or any advice for all the other people who are struggling at certain positions?
Well, it's kind of, at this point, it's probably pretty much the obvious. I think the only two that are really biggest, I think, I'm not going to mention those two because I'm pretty sure those are going to be the two hottest ones, of course. Oliver is going to be the top one, and then number two is also going to be Hillman, because they're both running backs, and you got injuries on both sides, and players are going to be out. But my actually best pick, I think, this I'm going to throw out there is actually I like Justin Hunter. I think especially if they change quarterbacks. I think if what's his name, Medinger? I forget his name. But the third string guy, apparently he's their rookie. He's the one that led, I guess, all yardage in preseason in yardage passing.
Are you talking about the guy from LSU?
Yeah, that guy.
Oh.
He actually led. Yeah, he led the preseason and I guess in yardage throwing the ball. So they said they may end up going to him because Locker's hurt again, and then Whitehurst is not their quarterback of the future. That guy's just not very good. So if they go to him, I like Hunter a lot. I think especially against next week against Jacksonville, because I think they can get blown. They can get beat, going deep. And Hunter's their deep guy, even though everybody, someone has Kendall Wright already, but I like Hunter more than Kendall Wright, just because if they do go with the rookie, I think he's the play to go for the rest of the season. I like Hunter. He was expected to do a lot of big things this year too. He may just do that now with a new quarterback.
And if you need a quarterback out there, I really do recommend Austin Davis. He's been solid these last 2 games. Say what you will about Dallas. I mean, they don't have the crappiest defense, and he played well. 3 touchdowns and 327 yards against Dallas, and then last week at Philly, 375 yards and 3 touchdowns. Almost pulled off that comeback if that receiver did not drop the ball. Easily catchable ball. They could have still had a chance to win the game. So
the only thing though with both of those though, well, not against Dallas, but I guess Philly though, they were they kind of had to pass a lot with Philly because they were down so much. So
sure,
I kind of wonder what their offense would be like if they didn't have to do that. But then again, they had to. They were ahead against Dallas, so I mean they did. He did put up good numbers against them. So it's a good pickup actually. He looks pretty good. And
he looks pretty good. Teams that need a QB, Don already has a QB with Russell Wilson dropping Geno Smith. You're welcome again, Don, for that advice. So the 2 pickups that we are suggesting for this week is Austin Davis for those who needs a QB, and then Justin Hunter for those who needs a wide receiver. But all right. Thank you very much for listening. That will conclude our Week 5 wrap up. For Tay, I am Sam, and hit those waiver wire guys, and good luck, everybody. Thanks a lot.
Good luck next week.